Over the past 8 years, the DEC crew has produced almost 4 dozen shows. We featured you and your friends and introduced you to people and places you weren't familiar with. Today's show takes you from the Decatur Square to Inman Park, from burgers and fries to Persian cuisine. Sit back and enjoy the last show of the year. Welcome to The DEC.
Where is everybody? DEC crew, assemble!
Back in February, the Kony 2012 campaign grabbed the nation's attention through the use of social media. Although people knew about the campaign, many people ignored the buzz. My partner Jordan Dillard and I looked into the hype.
Joseph Kony, leader of the Lord's Resistance Army in Africa, has been under a lot of recent media attention, but not for some of the traditional reasons that one may consider. Joseph Kony is an international war criminal, and the 2012 campaign is aimed at capturing him. Appropriately titled Make Kony Famous, the campaign has gotten everybody buzzing, including some celebrities. Included in the buzz, some of Decatur's own have joined in the conversation.
On my first Model UN conference, the topic was actually the Lord's Resistance Army and Uganda. So that's kind of how I kind of came to know about it. And I just had always really known about it. And then this whole campaign came out, and it was just kind of really interesting. I just think that it's really noble and valid to be focusing on Joseph Kony as this terrible person, but also I feel like people should know that child soldiering isn't just an issue in Uganda. It's an issue in over 20 different countries around the world, and I feel like this is a step in the right direction, definitely, but there's a lot more that can always be done, and that there's a lot more that there needs to be done.
People should be so involved that they're making a big deal about it, because that's the whole point of this, is to get so many people knowing about it so the government has no choice but to intervene. Our government has no choice but to intervene. Because if it's just a couple groups here and there, saying, I want something to change, it's not going to change.
True that a lot needs to be done, but there are certain leaders of the movement that some consider to be taking steps in the wrong direction. Much controversy surrounded the Invisible Children Corporation, but the video kept its momentum until producer of the video, Jason Russell, had what some may consider to be a mental meltdown.
About the producer of the video, I thought it was kind of funny, but I don't think it really matters with the whole thing that they're trying to do with stopping him.
Some Decatur students, although interested in the cause, don't exactly believe in supporting the Kony 2012 campaign because of all the surrounding controversies.
It's a bigger deal now because it's all over Google and everything, but there are people in Sudan, during the Darfur region, where child soldiers are made. There are people in Colombia where child soldiers are made. How come the other kids in Colombia or Sudan or Rwanda back then, why didn't they get the help that they needed,
And still, throughout all of the scandal, there's an actual message that can be learned through the whole situation.
This is your chance to make a difference, even if it's small, and it's your chance to show that you care about people besides yourself, really.
For The DEC, I'm Jordan Dillard.
Over the years, the DEC has done a ton of stories about what makes Decatur students so unique. But one group of students we have never shown you is the DEC crew members themselves. Throughout the show, we're going to show you 3 of our own crew members. Here's the first one.
My name is Anna Downing, and I do makeup.
The newest cuisine on the Decatur Square comes from a culture that originates thousands of miles away. My partner, Carson Greer, has a story on what this newly opened restaurant is serving.
Decatur is known for its award-winning restaurants and bars, but there's a new restaurant in town and you probably haven't had this type of food yet. Kobe Persian Kitchen is a new restaurant that is run by Sean, Shane, and Sirius Shamufar. They bring their culture with a new look.
The reason we started this restaurant is because we love seeing people at our dinner table, even at home. We love serving people, we're passionate about our food.
Passionate indeed. Kobe brings food that is one of the world's most ancient cuisines.
The recipes go back probably thousands of years. And if you look those recipes up, they haven't changed for probably thousands of years. People in Iran are still eating the same recipes.
Opening a restaurant is not easy. Owners and managers must train servers, and mandatory license and permits must be secured. People inside of the city's offices know the benefit of ethnic restaurants and continue to welcome them.
From a marketing perspective, it's great because it's not just, the same old thing, or it's not like going to another chain or like a strip mall with nothing but chains there. So it really comes down, I think, to the experience.
So if you walk in here right now, would you be able to tell that's a Persian restaurant? And we don't play Persian music. We will play Persian music, but that's not all we're going to play. We want people to feel comfortable in this atmosphere.
I like working with people a lot, and I like the people that I work with. They're all really good people, and they all know what they're doing, so sometimes it can be intimidating, but I really like it.
When asked about future goals, the answer is simple.
Our main goal is to keep the food consistent, keep the service consistent.
For The Deck, I'm Carson Greer.
That food sounds exotic, but you can never go wrong with a home-cooked meal on Highway 155. My partners Mary Adams, Taylor Vaughn, and I headed up 155, also known as Claremont Road, for this story.
Driving down Claremont Road, you may have seen or eaten at Kitchen 155. Sophomore Ruthie Stewart has an after-school job there, but that's not the only connection she has to the restaurant. Her family owns it.
It was an idea we'd had for a long time about what type of food we'd want to serve if we ever had our own restaurant and how we'd want to do it.
They were like, oh, well, why don't we just start our own restaurant? And at first it was like a joking around thing, but then they were actually like, actually that might be a good idea. We sell a lot of like diner style food, but we also have home style meals. Like we have a blue plate every day, and it's normally like a meat and you get 2 sides with it. And we also sell like shakes and malts and floats and stuff like that.
We wanted to do everything fresh from scratch every day, and so that's why we designed the menu with the daily specials as well as the regular menu.
We were trying to come up with a name for the place, and one morning Lisa said, well, it's a really kitschy place. It's an art term that means something that is kind of tacky design that people really like, and it's a really tacky building. And we started playing with the word kitsch and said, well, it can be, a kitchen. And then the 155 is Claremont Road.
We have a lot of regular customers, and some of my friends come in sometimes. And I really like a lot of the regular customers. I've gotten to know them. It's like a little family group.
I have been here before. I got a hamburger, and it was really good.
Being in the family business leaves Ruthie with a busy schedule.
Fridays are hard because sometimes I have to work like from 4 to 10:30. And so then I can't really do anything after that.
When she can hang out with us, it's really awesome because I hardly get to ever see her, so it just makes it more fun.
My parents are really good about making sure I'm well-rounded, so I'm not working all the time.
Working as a family has taught the Stewarts how to balance their professional work with family time.
When you're in a work environment with your family, you don't really get to interact with them as family as much. It's more about making the customers happy.
I think we definitely treasure our family time more.
Sometimes I miss them.
It is a lot of wear and tear on your body. It's a lot of long hours. If it's something she chooses, that's her choice. I would like to see her do something different.
For The Deck, I'm Mary Adams.
You might have seen this next crew member around the halls, on the show, or maybe on the field. Her name is Charlotte Goodson, and
I can juggle until you tell me to stop.
Speaking of towns, my partner Julio Garcia and I spent some time following one junior
who's turning his talent into cash.
Junior Charlie Bond has always surrounded himself with music, playing the drums for his band, the Wonder Nerds. He recently came across a new instrument, and after learning how to play it, he has taken his talent to the streets to earn some cash.
I started playing like drum kit like 8 years ago, and I took a music theory class last year that kind of helped me out with understanding music in general beyond percussion. For Christmas, this past Christmas, my dad got me a thing called a tank drum, which is, it's a propane tank where they flip over it, so they laser cut the nozzle off, and then they laser cut tongues into it that all make different notes, and mine's in the key of E pygmy. So I just kind of practiced it for a month and then started playing it on the street with a hat in front to see if anyone would put money in it. It turned out to make a lot of money, so I just kept doing it. If I was at home, I'd just be playing music anyway, but I can do it on the sidewalk and get paid for it, so it's really the logical thing to do. Besides making money, I would say my favorite part about it is just being able to do what I would do at home and to be able to do it with a lot of cool people. I've met so many people since I've started doing this, because before I did this, I was a bit of a hermit. I mean, I've always been a nerd, I'm still a nerd, but this kind of forces me to come out of my shell and to interact with people, and I think that's one of the things I like about it most. Friday or Saturday or Sunday, you can make like $15, $20 an hour depending on where you are. Most I've ever made is $200 in 4 hours, and that was at the Inman Park Festival last week.
While Charlie was working hard and making money, we met someone else who was also at the Inman Park Festival, working towards the same goal.
Thank you. There are other ways to show your appreciation also. Hint, hint. It's a beautiful day here on Edgewood Avenue, playing here at the Sidewalk Cafe. But they seem to be pretty cool out here today. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe it's because I'm making money, but you call that money? This street performer here in Atlanta. Now, one thing, city ordinances don't allow you to use an amp like this. This is my amp. Now, usually they look the other way at these festivity stuff when they got the street blocked, so I'm hoping out of the kindness and goodness of the policeman's heart they'll let me slide on. But I could be arrested for playing with that amplifier. Now, if you're playing just acoustically, that's okay. But when you get out and play on the sidewalk in a busy street, they can't hear you none, you know what I'm saying? You might be sounding like this, because they can't hear you none, so you need a little amplification. But that's against the law. It's a lifestyle, that's what it is. It's like this. You could be playing at home for nobody for nothing. So I hear you playing for somebody and something. And it's always nice on a beautiful spring day, but you won't catch me out here in the middle of February. You know what I mean? That's when we go to Florida.
I've been out at like 9:30, starving. Like my stomach is growling while I'm playing. It's almost louder than the drum. And I just like ride my bike home with like $30. I'm like, I win! But other times I'm like, screw this. I'm just gonna go eat and take a nap.
For The Deck, I'm Julian Garcia.
We've been producing stories for you to see on our Convergence Media website, 310.org. Here's what's waiting for you. Having children is both a challenge and a blessing. Now, imagine having the job of educating hundreds more. Jay Brown and Britt Pendergrast talked to some of the faculty's newest parents. Atlanta's home to lots of cool art galleries, but how many of them are homes? Emily Kinzer and Max Waterhouse talked to sophomore Savannah Roberts about what it's like having an art gallery in her Inman Park loft. Decatur's Rock and Roll Review is known as a show for the students, but this year, the faculty is joining in on the fun. Diamond Perrin, Summer O'Neill, and Anu Kai Morton talked to the teachers about how they plan to rock out. See them perform tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
Our third and final crew member has a talent that is easy to try, but much harder to execute. A word of caution, please do not attempt.
My name is Quinn, and I can breakdance.
Decatur's girls track team hadn't won a state championship since 2006, but that all changed last year. They returned home as state champions with victories over powerhouses GAC and Westminster. Going into this postseason, the team faced pressure to repeat. My partner Greg Thomas and I followed their journey.
From the bottom to the top, the girls of the Decatur track team are now defending state champs, the first Decatur team to get that kind of honor in years. But is there more pressure to make it back to state this year?
Well, there is a lot of pressure. For one, we're state championship team, so that means everyone is coming after us. GAC, Westminster, Thurl, everyone, Maynard Jackson, and we're the target now. Everyone didn't think of, when we come to track meets, people say Decatur. You know, now we're here, and we made a name for ourselves, so everyone's looking and watching what we're doing.
With long practices and intense conditioning, no wonder they are state champs. But what about competing in a way of reaching state this year?
But right now, schools like GAC, Maynard Jackson, Thurl, Lovett, Westminster, these are tough schools. You know, got tough competitors. So it will be a challenge this year.
Coach Jones is a very good coach. He is there all the time. He gives us rides home. He's just a very inspirational coach, motivating. You know, he always believed in us. Even when we don't believe in ourselves, he's always there.
The coaching is good. I feel like I have lots of supports from both Coach Joneses, and they're very supportive, and they're always there, and we can always count on them to cheer us on.
But for the seniors, this will be the last chance that they have to make it to state.
I've definitely made some new friends, and I do want to wish them the best of luck. I will miss coming out here almost every day and practicing with them and acting crazy, but you know, it's that time. It's time for them to bring up the legacy.
This now means the freshmen have to step up.
We have a lot of freshmen that came, and they're really strong, and hopefully they're going to carry out the program. Us leaving, you know, will lead, you know, hold the field, but I believe in my freshmen, sophomores, and juniors that they will fill in that role.
It is kind of scary to feel like they're all going to be counting on me soon, but I'm ready.
After weeks of hard work, the girls' track team made the state this year. Unfortunately, they didn't place first. They placed third.
Personally, I feel like I could have done a lot better to help the team, especially as a captain. We went out there and did the best we could, but, you know, third place overall. We were looking for first, so.
For the deck, I'm Greg Thomas.
Tie your shoes, mentally prepare yourself, and now you're ready to drop in. Connor and Anita have the story about 4 guys who became best friends through BMX. We're all familiar with twins around Decatur and how they compete with one another on athletic teams. But have you ever considered how much pressure actually goes along with competing with a twin? Brooke Pearson and Quinn Von Haney take a look. Few people have ever had to put their survival skills to the test, but these skills will be critical for 2 sophomores who will embark on an 87-mile hike on the Appalachian Trail in July. Anna Marker and Janelle Seals tell us how they're preparing. All these stories and more are on 310.org. Remember to like us on Facebook and stay up to date when new stories are posted.
In 1977, a new teacher walked in through the front doors of the high school. Now, 35 years and countless students later, Chris Billingsley is retiring.
I feel like everyone should know about him.
I also was here, I believe, his first year. I was in the 9th grade, so I was a student of his many, many years ago.
He has a legacy of being extremely competent, combined with caring.
He's always been a presence in the hallway. You know, you always behaved a little bit better when Mr. B was in the hall.
I probably taught 2,000 or 3,000 students.
Teaching for some people's a job, for some people it's a profession and a career, but for Mr. B it really is a calling.
I've taught quite a few different subjects at Decatur High School. I've taught U.S. history, world history.
I remember that he had a full head of hair, big and fluffy and blonde.
Economics, civics, government.
I always remember just being in the hallway and Mr. B being like, "Hello, princess," and saying stuff like that.
Psychology, I think that's it. I've taught science, 9th grade science.
What I love is that I teach improv, and oftentimes we do characters, and I have not yet had a class where somebody did not bring Mr. B into the loop, and I think that's a huge compliment to him.
There's something very exciting about working with young people. Everything is possible with them. They have big dreams, and I like that energy.
There aren't many people who can sustain the energy that he sustains coming into work at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, I get here in the morning and work out before school, and he's here before I am.
Some of the best things he's done is be here, year after year, dedicated, determined to help young people see the value in giving back.
I probably learned from Mr. B just to like take a little pride in my community. Like everywhere I go, always do something that's worth remembering.
The legacy he leaves is a legacy of service and the importance of serving your community and finding places to help and seeing that, you know, we're all in this together.
And he makes all of us want to step up and to be just a little bit as good as he is.
Well, I appreciate that students think of me as a good teacher, and that's been good for me. The last year, once students found out I was retiring, that students came by and said, we don't want you to go. We enjoyed this and that in the classroom or around school.
I'm sad because my other son's not here yet. I'm happy for him because I can only imagine how delightful that will be after all these years. But I will miss him. I think that he has brought things to the school that nobody else brings.
So it's going to be sad. I'm happy for him that I think that he's found some peace in being able to move on from this part of his life. And I hope that he enjoys the next phase of his career, because there's no way he's going to stop working. That's not possible.
Well, it's going to be an interesting experience for me. I'm going to go look for another job. I don't think it will be teaching. It might be something in education, but I don't think it's going to be teaching.
His love of what he teaches and his appreciation for what he does and his affection for the children is unmatched.
He is just a very unique, caring, he's awesome.
Decatur is definitely going to lose like a lot of its character and its, I don't know, one of its greatest teachers, I would think.
I think there is one thing that I could say to all the students that I've taught over the last 35 years, and that is teaching is not about worksheets. Teaching is not about funny jokes or stories. Teaching is not about strict discipline. I think it's all about love. And I'm hoping that students and parents realize or see that I have tried to teach as if I love students, because I do love students.
Mr. B isn't the only one leaving. There's only one day left before all the seniors part ways with Decatur High. Still, it's an exciting time, and we want to celebrate by showing you what the class of 2012 is all about.
Getting accepted into college, nothing made me happier than feeling wanted.
At the pep rally when I gave my speech to the class, we're gonna go hard today, we're gonna go hard tomorrow, but we're gonna go harder tomorrow.
And sophomore year when we had a fire drill and it was snowing outside and somebody just drilled Mr. Austin in the face with a snowball.
When Jacob McAdoo shaved his eyebrow off. Oh, great moment.
We're a big fan of livestock in the South, and we decided that what better way to show our love for livestock than to bring a chicken to school.
Poor chicken. I wouldn't have liked to be that chicken, but maybe he liked it. Got a taste of freedom from the coop.
We didn't kill it.
The chicken was okay.
Yeah,
and
no
the chicken made it to the school.
That's what
mattered.
I believe that was one of the best things that has happened to Decatur High School.
one essay in Mr. Perzo's Advanced American Lit class, and I got kind of lazy sophomore year, and it was due halfway through spring break, and I was like, you know what, I just want to do that, and I never did, and my grade dropped 7 points and never went back up.
Not skipping a lot of class. I've been to as much school as I could probably. That was a mistake.
I think actually my biggest regret is probably skipping too much class.
I think I just freaking fell a lot. Like everywhere I went, I just always fall.
Getting into a food fight in junior year, I got a bowl of soup dumped on my head.
One time I was walking up the stairs and Kurt just came behind me and lifted my skirt up.
Emily Rowe, Dylan Stuckman, and Maya Davis. I fell asleep and they put a box on my head.
I don't eat cafeteria food. I bring my lunch. Yeah, so.
Chicken nuggets have always been my favorite since like literally.
I want one right now.
Yeah, like dipping. I love dipping them in the mashed potatoes.
Oh my god. And the sauce, and then the
and
sauce.
the peas, and the sauce.
The fries I've heard are pretty good, but I don't know.
I have not eaten cafeteria food once. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. I've gotten someone to get me an apple one time.
Let more farm animals loose in the school.
Don't get wasted and come to school functions. That's a big no-no.
Make sure you take care of your business first and, have fun later.
Talk to people. Make some friends. Keep the old.
Walk on the right. Like, that's it. And don't stand in the middle of the hallway.
Don't stop on the stairs.
2012, we one of a kind. Be yourself, don't try to be like us, because you can't.
Absolutely nothing, except for Mr. B. But he's leaving anyways, so. And Miss Riley.
I love doing Shake Your Booty at the end of fourth quarter for drill team. It's the best thing ever.
People in Decatur care. I guess that's why I like it here. That's probably also one thing I'm gonna miss a lot.
Not being able to see like all these people every single day.
Yeah.
And the tree.
I would just miss us, class of 2012. That's what I miss.
We're the Deck Crew Seniors, and we want to say thanks for watching.
And congratulations to all of you in the class of 2012.
Have a great summer and look forward to more great stories next year on
The Deck.